Graduates from Taylor, Texas have been soaring to great heights for a very long time. And students today are already making their mark in the world long before graduation. Taylor is full of history, tradition, and an amazing community that supports its future leaders. With all the programs and opportunities available to students today, graduates from Taylor, Texas are soaring higher now than ever before. Our guest today is Taylor High School track star and four-time state pole vault champ, Cathryn Griffith. Our guest host today is AC's coach and THS Assistant Athletic Director, Shelli Cobb. In today's interview, they talk about Cathryn's athletic journey in high school and future plans for this amazing athlete.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Taking Flight. I am head girls track coach at Taylor High School, Shelli Cobb, and my special guest today is four-time state pole vault champion, Cathryn Griffith. AC, first let me say it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to coach you for 4 years at Taylor High School. What you have meant to our track program, to your teammates, to this community, to Taylor High School, to just the sport of track and field has been amazing. I want to personally thank you for all of your hard work, your leadership, your dedication, your effort, and congratulate you on your much-deserved success. So, now that we're here, let's talk about how this all started. The age maybe that you first became interested in the sport of track and field, let alone pole vault, and how that kind of evolved to make you the state record holder and champion.
So I've been on the track for as long as I can remember. My brothers were running, my dad had a summer track team here in Taylor, and so I would come from gymnastics and go do a track workout with my brothers, and so it's been a passion of mine for a very long time. But I first started competing at the age of 7 and have just been doing it ever since and nonstop. I started with the long jump and the 100s and the baby stuff really easy, and then as I've gotten older I've progressed into harder events such as the pole vaulting and the hurdles. So it's been a long process.
Well, you mentioned gymnastics. Do you think starting out in gymnastics helped you to become a pole vaulter in any way?
I do, and it's also been my dad's kind of background for paying gymnastics bills that I would in hopes be a pole vaulter someday, but I think it creates just self-awareness so I know where I am in the air. It creates extra core strength that I don't think I would have gotten just running all my life, so it's been a help for me, I think.
Sure, just being comfortable having your body upside down and in different positions, obviously I could see how that would lend to assisting you with pole vault. So, pole vault itself, what made you even want to do this?
I actually kind of got into it on accident. I was practicing at McNeil High School and my brother Clark was actually pole vaulting. And my dad had said I was too young and I'm not allowed to do it yet because I was 11, like too little. And so we went over there to watch my brother finish jumping, and this girl was there and she's like, you should just try it for the heck of it. And I was like, okay, can I? And the coach was even like, you're a little too small and a little too young. And we finally convinced him to say, hey, let's let her do it. And I did it and I fell in love that very first day. Like it was love at first sight, really.
What was it you did that first day? Did you grab a pole and make a run at it and plant the pole? What all did you do?
Yes, I just picked up a pole and just took like 3 steps and we're just getting in the pit. But that was so much fun to me at that age. And I was like, this is what I want to do and I don't ever want to stop.
Okay, you mentioned the coach. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about Brian for a moment.
Well, Brian's been my coach for as long as I've been vaulting. That's the only coach I've ever had, and he's been with me through so much. He's gotten me where I've needed to be and shown me how to fix things that I've struggled with. He's been there through all my ups and downs. There's been plenty of downs and plenty of ups, but he's been there consistently and continued to coach me and has supported me through everything.
I agree, he's a great guy, he's a great coach. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy, perfect for vaulters because it can get super mental. Right? I mean, stuff can get in your head, which can totally affect you, and he just doesn't have a place for that. he just says toughen up and get after it, right?
He'll toughen up, and then once he learns your personality, he'll start making jokes at you and figure out how to push your buttons to make you get better.
Yeah, yeah. He definitely has been a huge part of your success, and to have him around at a lot of the meets was fabulous. You could tell that he really is in it for the right reasons, and he takes care of his students, his athletes, and he wants to be there to help them be as successful as possible. So a little plug for Brian there, I guess, for anyone that is interested in pole vaulting, that would be a great guy to seek out. Let's say his full name so that we
Brian Elmore, and he is at Austin Pole Vaults and Throws in Pflugerville.
That's right. He is amazing. I concur with you on that. So your successes began in competition began far before you were a freshman at Taylor High School. So give us a little information about when you started to really compete and in what venues you competed in and how those successes built.
So I first started pole vaulting at just little local meets just around that were just strictly pole vaulting. There was no other track and field events. It was just pole vaulting meets. That's all you did all day. You would just go. So my first meet, I actually was competing with my cousin, and we were the only two because we were 11, almost 12. And so we cleared, I think, 5, 6, and maybe 6 foot at our first meet. And I still remember that meet. I remember exactly everything I did. And after that, I've just grown. And so when I first really started competing, it was with the AAU Junior Olympics and the USATF Junior Olympics. So my very first Junior Olympics, I was 12, and I was competing in the 13-year-old group. And the national championship was in Des Moines, Iowa. And so I went up there, competed, and that's when I guess my title of fame really stuck out, because that was my first national record, my first place, and so that was a very big meet. And so that's kind of what really got me hooked even more, and just like, let's keep going, let's see where I can take this.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So when you finally made it to high school as a freshman and you came to Taylor High School, of course, we knew who you were, we knew about you, we knew you had had success on the track. Your family was very much involved in Taylor track, your father, your brother, and now we had you there. Your freshman year, we saw a young Anna Cathryn who was entering a whole new world now. Now you're not just at a vaulting competition, you're at a track meet. You're a member of a team. You're helping score points for a team. You have teammates relying on you. You know, it was kind of a whole different world. How do you think that changed pole vault for you, or did it even?
I don't know if it's necessarily changed, because during summer track I was still long jumping and kind of just doing other random stuff, but it wasn't I ever took it really seriously, because vaulting was my true thing. The other stuff was just kind of for fun, which is kind of still how I saw it in high school, that these other events would make me better. They would help the team out as a whole. It wasn't just, oh, let's just go vault. So it's kind of a nice thing. And to have like the mile relay on our 4x4, that team aspect, you have that close-knit group of girls who work hard, go through the same pain together. And vaulting is a very individual sport, so you don't get to have that same connection with a lot of the other vaulters, even though it's still a very close group of people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, freshman year, you obviously are in a big venue at the state meet. And you are at the state meet obviously for the first time because you're a freshman. Were you nervous? What were you thinking? What was going through your head during that competition when you were trying for that first gold?
I wouldn't say I was really nervous, because I'd been in big venues before, so it wasn't like, oh my goodness, this is something completely new. Yeah. It wasn't a big shock in that way, but just knowing you're at the state meet, and if I wanted to accomplish a goal of a 4-time state champ, I have to get it this year. And there's other great vaulters out there, so you just never know what's happening. And I remember competing, and there was one other girl who cleared the same bar as me, and it just came down to misses. And that's something you don't want to ever happen, but just knowing you can stay clean. And so there was probably a little bit of nerves there, but I mean, I have a trouble remembering those if there were any. But.
Right. You mentioned having a goal of being a 4-time state champion. That first year, your freshman year, were you confident you could win it?
I think going in, I knew I had even the beginning of my freshman year, I knew I had a chance to win because I had looked at the results from the previous year and I was like, I think I can do this. And I didn't even jump my PR that day and I was still capable of winning the competition, just knowing what I've done and prepared myself could handle all of this. So I think I knew I was able to do it. It was just a matter of fact if everything came to plan.
Right, right. And setting the new 4A girls state record.
That was the sophomore.
The sophomore year. So then let's fast forward to the sophomore year. That's where I think we began to see you mature a little more. You know, it wasn't just your freshman year anymore, and I saw you definitely start to mature as a track and field athlete, especially with your leadership on the team, which progressed even further your junior and senior years. But at the state meet, your sophomore year, was there more pressure being the returning champion than there was the first year?
I would say there was probably some more added pressure, but I tend to not feel pressure. I just kind of tuck it behind, and if there is any, I won't see it. I know my senior year I had a lot more, but my sophomore year was still kind of like, if it doesn't happen, you have 3 more years to do it. So it's just kind of like up in the air. But I definitely remember my sophomore year, I had made a big jump in my PRs, and so that was kind of nice to know that I won with 12 feet the previous year, and this year I've been clearing above 12 feet. I finally broke my PR, so that gave me more confidence, I think, going in, and I had a bigger goal of setting the state record instead of just trying to win again.
Right. So claimed the second gold medal. You broke the state meet record, and we move into that junior year. I felt, as your coach, I felt the pressure intensify for you. You're 2-time state champion. You're also, you know, you're going to try to get a medal in those 300 hurdles as well. And I just could feel it. I just felt like, you know, the weight on her shoulders is intensifying because the expectation is there for her to continue to compete at a level that is amazing. So junior year, you not only win that gold medal again, you claim a silver in the 300 hurdles with an amazing race of PR on that race there, and you broke your record again. So were you feeling things get a little harder then? Were you feeling that at all?
I feel like there was some more added pressure just knowing you have to keep topping your best, and if you don't, there's going to be people like, oh, is she done? Like, is she going to get any better? So there's always that, is she going to get any better? And that's something you have to keep working at because there is a possibility of getting better, so you just have to keep trying. And then because Virginia Curley was still there, it kind of helped because she was such a great athlete and still is, that it kind of helped. Everyone was kind of focused still on her, and so I could have kind of sit behind and just watch and learn from her. So that was kind of, I think, a nice thing, seeing how she's handled pressure, being in the spotlight for so much.
Absolutely. Now, senior year, this year that we just completed, as the season progressed, and let's also talk about the fact that you were never really prepared meet by meet for the state meet because there's no one who could ever jump near you at all. And we even toyed with having you compete with the boys at some meets so that you could actually vault within a group of vaulters that were going heights similar to yours. Before that, everybody would just vault until they were out, and you hadn't even reached your opening height yet. So you were vaulting literally alone. It's hard to get motivated to compete. You know, you can win it on your opening height. You've already got the medal. You've already got the points for the team. What are we doing this for? You know, why am I not resting now to get ready for my hurdles, my mile relay? You know, and so I don't feel like those early meets, even district area, regionals, a couple of times. But I did Lavernia girl, and when she was in the region with you, I really don't feel like those meets did you any justice. There was nothing to prepare you to then step up all of a sudden at the state meet and have competition working with you and against you and having to really put the performance out there.
Yeah, no, that's always been a struggle because there hasn't been a lot of girls just around here that are at my height of jumping. They may be still in when I'm coming in, but it's not here to push me. And I have one meet that's was I think personally my best vaulting. It was the Round Rock quad meet that we went to because I was jumping with the guys, and so we actually had Coach Gable's son who was still jumping with me.
Yes.
That was kind of helpful because he was there to push me, and I was like, I want to beat him. So that was kind of helpful to have that under my belt before going into district and that. But just the weather was kind of funky this year, and so it was just kind of like, hey, we'll just wait and see what happens at state. We just have to go do what we know how to do.
Exactly. And you always have. I mean, when it's been on the line and you've had to perform at that level, you've always found a way to make that happen, which has been fabulous. I will say that this year I worried more about the pressure. I mean, it's one thing to be the state champion and a back-to-back state champion the third year, but it gets to that point now where everyone expects you just to win. They really don't think that you won't. And what happens if you don't? I mean, I would talk about it with Coach Clifton, our assistant, and I would say I'm really stressing for AC because I feel like nobody realizes what she has sacrificed and what she's had to do to get to this point. They feel like it just comes easy for her, and they just expect her to do it, and it's going to be the scandal of the track and field community if she doesn't. And I said, that's a lot of pressure on an 18-year-old girl, and it just worries me. And I mean, I would tear up talking to her about it at times, riding that bus on the way home, and I would sit up there on the front of the bus on that cooler next to her driving, and we would hash stuff out. And I'm sure I was way more worried than you were, or maybe even your parents. But I just felt like this intense pressure for you, I guess. And so whenever you did clinch the victory, it was almost like this huge relief. And I don't know, did you feel that relief?
There was definitely some. I remember once that girl got out, I was just like, first thing I did to Clifton, I held up my 4 and I said, I got my 4. Yep. And I just remember it was like, okay, I can have fun now. It's not so, hey, let's just make sure we win. Now it's, hey, let's do what we can to get another state record, another PR, something else. Let's just do something now. It's fun, it's going to be relaxed, and we can have a good day.
Yes.
So, and especially since coming up short in the long jump that day, I was feeling the pressure and just.
Right, definitely, because all of your stuff was on one day. Didn't have a great jumping day. You would have definitely been on the medal stand with what you'd previously jumped, but that's okay. I mean, you're human. We don't always have our top performance right when we need it. Pulled through though in the vault, and then beautiful set of 300 hurdles. I know you wanted that school record so you could have your name up there along with your dad. You were so close.
Oh, that's going to bother me.
I know, so close.
Yeah, so
but
close.
I mean, a great performance in the hurdles as well. I mean, we always talk about you as a vaulter, and a lot of people don't realize what a great long jumper you are, what a great middle distance sprinter you are, 300 hurdler. This year we didn't do the 100 hurdles, but you have in the past, and you're just such a versatile track and field athlete, and a lot of people only see you as a vaulter and they have no clue about your speed and your hurdling ability and your jumping ability. So I'm glad we have a chance to talk today and get that out there to everybody. I definitely put you on the track or in the field in any event. I think you even threw a shot when you were little, didn't you?
I did throw the shot. I did do triathlons when I was little, which is like the shot and the long jump and the 200, super easy. Yes. But I would throw the shot. It wasn't the greatest, but I could do it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I think one of the big things that I love about your story is the fact that you're proving to other high school athletes out there that you don't have to be at a big school to be noticed or to perform at the level that you need to in order to get those looks from those colleges. I mean, we are 4A, we're not a little tiny, but we're smaller. We're not a 5 or 6A school. And I think a lot of these high school kids have this idea that they aren't going to get looked at or get noticed or seen unless they're performing at those higher divisions of high school. What do you think about that?
I mean, I see where kids are like, oh, I've got to be at the big schools because they're going to have the better coaches. But then you also have a perk to being at a small school. You're going to have more one-on-one time with a coach to perfect your skill or whatever you're trying to do. And I think our 4A division is about perfect because you have a big enough team so you can have a well-diverse team and everyone can push each other, but it's not so big where you get overlooked and you could be the greatest athlete, but a coach never put in the time with you because they've got 20 other kids they're trying to focus on. So I think our division right here is about as perfect as you can get because you've got the one-on-one times with your coach, but you also have the full team aspect as well.
Right. And let's mention here in Taylor the facilities that this community has provided for our track athletes.
It's phenomenal. We started at the middle school track. I mean, that track is still nice, but then you get this new facility that we have. It's been so nice to have. It has all of the proper equipment so no one's hurt or injured or anything, and it's just a great right there so you don't have to drive like we used to, load up in the bus and drive to the middle school. But now it's just right there. You just have to walk across from the school, and it's just really great. And having a great pole vaulting, thanks to our superintendent for getting that all straightened out for us.
Mr. Brown, yes, thank you.
We got that perfect and got both directions, and so Tanner will be able to use it, and hopefully we have some young vaulters that want to continue and will use it as well.
I agree. Yes, good point, good point. So let's talk about now what's next. We know that you are going to go compete in a marvelous program, Texas Tech University. I got to get my guns up. Reckham. They're doing great right now in a lot of their sports. So tell us about what attracted you to Tech and the coaching staff there and what you foresee in the future.
So the reason I actually really had Tech on my radar is I went up for an indoor meet back when they had the bubble. The last year they had the bubble at the indoor track. And I went up there and I jumped and actually won the meet and still hold the meet record there.
Way to go! Yes!
And that was when I jumped 12.6 as an 8th grader, which was a very big deal. And so the coaches just were like, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm a coach here. And I was like, oh, and I'm about to go to high school, and it was such exciting times. And I'd been on the campus so many times before, and I was like, oh, it's a beautiful campus, it's far enough away from home. And that meet, I really fell in love. I was like, that's where I think I want to be. I like the coach. He's super nice. And so all throughout high school, they just were in the back of my head. I looked at other schools, but overall Tech just has my heart. And it has a beautiful campus. They have a great nursing program, which is what I strive to be when I'm older. And that was one thing I really had to look for, is what has the best schooling, not just athletic facilities, because there's so many great athletic facilities out there, but it's what has the best school for me. And so the nursing school was perfect for me. It's everything I want. And so, plus the track team is great there, and so it just all is right there for me.
And you have a brother there now. Well, you have two brothers there, but one on the track team.
Two brothers there, one on the track team. So
did that have anything to do with your decision?
Actually, that was my biggest hesitation to going to Tech.
Okay.
Everyone's like, oh, that would make you want to go there. But it was just like, I want to spread my wings and not have my brothers hover over me, or which, I mean, they won't. They're going to be so busy doing their own things, but just my oldest brother being on the track team with me, and he's the very protective one. And so that was like, I'm not going to be able to spread my wings if he's going to be knowing my every move. And so I was just like, I'll just get over that. We'll figure it out. And I'd rather make myself happy, choose a school that I want to, than settle for another school that I wasn't exactly excited about. So I just kind of got over it and was like, hey, let's just go with it and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you know, the men just captured the national title. So let's hope that once you get there that you can step in and help those women also get that national track championship title. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That'd be so awesome. I mean, the guys just did an amazing job.
Yes.
And hopefully they'll be able to do it again or get close again, because I mean, that was so exciting just to watch and see. And I'm hoping that when I get up there and we have these other great recruits get up there, that girls can get up there and start fighting for the national championship.
Well, you know, when Wes Kitley was at Abilene Christian, he was winning national championships with the women. And so they asked him to take over the men's program. and he started winning national championships with them. So he knows how to do it.
He knows how to do it.
He's a great guy. So I know he won't be your vaulting coach, but he's kind of overseeing
He's over everything, and he'll make sure that I'm doing what I need to do in vaulting. And so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Will you only vault there, or do you know?
I'm not sure yet. It's kind of up in the air. I mean, they could have me hurdle or long jump, and there's no telling. I'm kind of
throwing the shot.
I don't know about the shot, but it could be. But I'm not really sure about that. I'm kind of just what they tell me to do. I'll do my best at it with anything that they throw at me. So
yeah. Well, I don't doubt that at all, and I'm excited for you to get started up there, so we can kind of track your progress and want to come up and watch you compete. And I'm sure you'll be at the Texas Relays.
Hopefully.
I would hope so. And then that's a close trip to go over and watch you.
And y'all should be there too. And
exactly.
And I'll just meet up.
I know. It'll be like a big reunion. Well, we're definitely going to miss having you competing with us and on our track team. It was amazing. You know, most coaches are fortunate if they get a chance to coach an athlete of your caliber ever in their career. I've been fortunate to coach 2 of those. You mentioned Virginia Curley earlier, and yourself, 2 of the best track and field athletes that I have ever seen. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to work with both of you. And we will definitely be excited to see your future success. I know it's going to be there. You've been a great role model for the girls of Taylor, the girls of Texas. Once again, thank you for everything that you gave to Taylor and to Taylor High School and our track and field program. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck in all that you do. Any parting words that you have?
I mean, nothing really, but y'all have set up a great platform for me to succeed and have showed me how to act properly and carry myself the correct way.
Thank you. That's amazing. Well, thank you guys for being with us and helping to learn a little more about this amazing athlete. And until the next episode of Taking Flight, go Ducks.